Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Dreaming Angel Tarot. I'm doing a reading actually in the evening, which I haven't done before. It's dark outside, it's cold, it's December now. This might be like the last reading of the year I do. And I just wanted to take a look at a situation you're in your life. I'll give you kind of time frames and let you know what the situation looks like for you, but kind of the idea was that this would be a situation that's sort of ongoing. Just something you're in right now that has been maybe lasting a little while, maybe a little longer than you would like, or you just don't really know what to make of it and you're seeking to understand something more. And the idea is we're going to look at sort of the lessons you're learning and the way out of the situation, what the future looks like and the path forward, and what messages from Spirit there are for you concerning your situation. So think about something in your life that you would like some insight into, and then pick a pile. This evening I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot, which is this beautiful deck here, and the Fairy Tale Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. So this is pile 1, this is pile 2 in the middle, and pile 3 on the right. And I'll hold up the cards and let you know what they are too. Pile 1 is the Four of Wands. That's pile 1. Pile 2 is the Eight of Pentacles. And pile 3 is the Seven of Wands. So think about a situation in your life that you would like to look into this evening. And pause the video if you need more time. And I'll see you in your reading. Bye. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So if you're here, you picked pile 1, the Four of Wands. So right off the bat, I think part of your situation has to do with a vision for your future that you're trying to manifest, and a kind of happiness that has to do with I think it's like dreams fulfilled and sort of the bigger picture of like where you're living. It could be about domesticity, relationships. It feels like this is about getting there, getting to that place in your life where you feel fulfilled and feel that you're happy. Let's see what's going on. So for this situation, we have the King of Cups. For the challenge, we have the Wheel of Fortune. For the lesson, we have the King of Wands. And for the way out, we have the Page of Cups. And for your message, we have intimacy, the story about the Frog Prince from the Fairy Tale Oracle. Okay. I think this has to do with relationships with other people in your life. Particularly with the King of Cups coming up here and sort of the dominant male energy of these two cards. I'm picking up that this might have to do with like romantic relationships in your life. And the situation you're in is, I think, one where you're searching for your happiness and you're searching for your soulmate and building a life with another person. I think with the King of Cups here, the situation has to do with your dreams of the type of person you'd like to be with. Maybe like your ideal partner. And the feeling I get is that it's a kind of an idealistic conception of what that person would be like. They almost seem greater than human. They're like not human. Very dreamlike, soft, gentle, kind, sensitive. I feel like you have this idea of what this person would be like, and you're kind of searching for them. I think what's going on though is that circumstances in your life are somehow prohibitive to either finding this person or developing a relationship. Even if you have found someone like this, there's something where like you're having trouble developing the relationship or getting stable, finding stability with them. There's something either about your life or their life, but I feel like it's yours that keeps changing or is not on solid ground, and it feels like it's shifting a lot. And I don't think you really want that. I think you want this Four of Wands and this like stability. And I don't think you have that right now, is the feeling I get. You may also feel like there's an element of divine timing at play, like as though when the moment's right, everything will work out. And so I almost feel like you're externalizing this process a little bit and looking outward a little bit more than you're like looking in. I think you're very dreamy by nature. And I think you have I think there's something about you and about the dreams you have that's a very strong aspect of your personality that's a good thing. I think you know what you want, and I don't think you wait on others to make your life better. I think you're like, take the initiative, and you're really trying to make your life what you want it to be. And I can see you like putting in the hard work of that, and like trying to become you're ambitious or accomplished, or you're incredibly like responsible, or like not so much responsible, but it's like you're somebody who's trying to like better themselves. Like I can see you having a really good like exercise routine, and your diet is really good, and you're taking good care of yourself, and you know, you're trying to stay balanced, and you remind me of someone that probably has like a schedule or a calendar, and you know, at this time you do X, at this next time you do Y. You know, you have this sense of like when you get up, when you go to sleep, you keep to a schedule. There's like an independence about you, and I think you feel that if you do all these things and get your life just right, then everything will work out. I think you're trying to manifest something. And again, I think that something is a relationship with either a specific person or a type of person you have in mind. And if that's off base, maybe pick another pile or another reading, because I think I've done a reading similar to this in the past already. Because that's kind of what I'm getting from this. I think you yourself also want to develop more King of Cups characteristics, where your, you know, emotions are more even-keeled, and you feel more mature, and you feel wise, and just thinking. Yeah. It feels like you're trying to reach for something that feels just out of reach somehow. For your lesson, you got the King of Wands. And that's making me think about how sometimes with relationships, we can idealize a certain type of person and think we know what we want. But really, actually what's best for us, or like what's gonna make us really happy, is a completely different type of person. And sometimes it's even better than anything you could have imagined. There's something about this King of Wands character. It makes me feel like this type of person is actually who could be intended for you. And whether they're in your life or not, I don't think you're seeing them. Or you don't recognize them as a potential partner. It's like you just don't see them that way, or you haven't picked up on someone's interest in you. You haven't taken it seriously. It could be that your ideal person is kind of a more serious, I don't know, maybe inward, artistic type of guy, but really someone who actually would be good for you is someone who is a little bit more like social and outgoing and confident and fun and playful. Maybe not so like sullen and in their little world. And also someone who is receptive and open and ready to be with you. It could be that you're romanticizing someone who it's like a unrequited love. Like you could be romanticizing someone who it's like their back is turned to you. Like they really haven't shown a whole lot of initiative or interest in you. But someone is or will very soon show some interest in you and be more ready for a relationship. And they might not be the type of person that you would expect yourself to be with or expect yourself to be attracted to or feel attracted to at first. But they might actually be the person to give you this Four of Wands happiness. And some of this could have to do with like the father figure in your life, or lack thereof, or like a father figure, whoever that was for you, and your animus, the masculine side of yourself. I think that the way out of this situation, the way forward, is this increased sensitivity in you, the Page of Cups. I think this is you in this spread. And the Page of Cups is very sweet, very sincere, almost innocent, very artistic and sensitive and open. They hold the cup up and they're curious about what's inside. There's something about this situation or this journey that's calling you to get curious about yourself and who you really are and how you really feel. It's not about perfecting yourself more. It's about learning what it means to be in a relationship and what it means to be authentic to yourself when you shed the conditioning that you've been brought up in. This is not about being better. This is not about looking better or accomplishing more. I don't know why I keep getting this image of like an Instagram influencer who is making all these videos about her exercise routines and what she eats. And it's just saying, no, that's not the answer. An inward journey is required, something that you don't show to anybody, that's private to you, and that's open-ended. And one in which you discover the beauty of your emotions and your emotional life, and in turn value yourself even more for what you bring to a relationship. And I think you're going to be surprised by this journey, and it's going to be really beautiful. I think it's going to be an alchemical process of change for you. I think you're like a beautiful person and a beautiful woman. I think you're a woman. I don't know. You might, if you're not, that's fine. Please take this as it resonates. But that's just what I'm getting from this. I think it could be that you're looking outward for something to be the thing that fits in with your ideal life. But you're not, your dreams are, it's like your dreams are not it. Like, there's more for you, and there's something that's so much more rich and substantive for you. It feels like than what you're dreaming of right now. And it's meant for you too. With this Wheel of Fortune, it's your destiny. Your destiny is to find this partner, to find happiness, to find romantic love, and a true counterpart. This is very significant in your journey. I think something about finding this counterpart, the soul flame, the soulmate, twin flame, is like central to your life and helps you become the person. Like you're gonna look back on this and think, I don't even know who I was back then. Like, you're going to become the person you were always meant to be through this journey of finding the soulmate that's going to open up aspects of you and parts of you that, you didn't know were there. And the Frog Prince, the story, it's, okay, so like the word underneath it is intimacy. I'm going to read just a little bit of the story, how they describe the Frog Prince. The message for you with this card is intimacy, that you are not willing to let people in at present and allow them to understand who you truly are or learn who they truly are. You are not seeing people, not truly. You are seeing only what is there before you, and it is not what it seems. There are qualities available to you at present: charm and learning and wisdom and intimacy. Share the food from your plate. Share your thoughts and words. There is someone who wishes to get to know you very deeply, but you are repulsed, and this is what you must ponder when this card comes to you. And if you have made a promise, you must keep it. The power of the word is very strong in fairy tales. So if you think you can take the benefits of a relationship without the intimacy and lessons that relationships demand, it cannot happen. And if you work through the challenges of true intimacy, all the fear and abhorrence we feel in opening up to another, you will be rewarded. This is not a tale about accepting people regardless of their looks, although there is a touch of that here too. I think this person may not initially look the way you, and again, there's something about it where you didn't think you would be attracted to this person, or there's something surprising about what unfolds. It is truly about deep relationships and the difficulty we feel in becoming truly intimate with another and sharing our lives with another. Relinquishing our isolation can repulse us. The princess, by keeping her word, you might want to, I didn't read this whole thing, but you might want to look up the fairy tale about the frog prince. Basically what it says is that this princess was very independent. She loved being in her own world. She's self-sufficient. She loves playing with her toys. But her favorite thing was this golden ball, and she loses it in water, which is a symbol for memory, emotions, and she just wants to get this golden ball back. And a frog comes out of the water and offers to help her, but she's repulsed by it at first, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with this frog. And so in the fairy tale, she learns intimacy, and she learns how to let somebody else in through this process of working with the frog. The princess, by keeping her word and letting him grow close to her, breaks a spell. And while in some of its tellings it would seem that the reward is the beauty of the true prince hidden within the form of the frog, it is truly about intimacy and closeness and the great rewards it can bring. It is also about keeping our word. So it's about honoring another. So the message for you is twofold. Who or what are you keeping at arm's length? What have you to lose by allowing a worthy soul to grow close to you? What promises have you made that you have not fulfilled? The meaning of this is learning to give of yourself, finding the value in relationships, reducing your attachment to possessions. Question here, why are you keeping people at a distance? Keeping your word, considering everyone equally, intimacy requiring discomfort at first, sharing your feelings, time, and affection with someone, and growing closeness and developing openness with someone, which is all about what the Page of Cups is, that openness, and that sweetness, and that truth, and sincerity. It's about developing innocence again. And trust. It's interesting the way I did this reading, because since this fairy tale oracle is new to me, I don't look at the cards that I deal until I start the reading. But I did look at this one because I wanted to read about the fairy tale and learn what it was before I did the reading, because I thought that that would help, so I wasn't like fumbling through and figuring out what the fairy tale was all about if I didn't know it, because some of the ones in this book I don't know. I thought that that would like slow the reading down and not make it not as good. And then I realized, as I was looking at this just now, it's like the way I came to it with like an agenda, and I didn't let it just develop. I read it before I started the reading. I wanted to have it all perfect. That's a symbol for you. That's a message for you, is that I don't think it's helping you to try to approach your relationships and approach your life and the person you're becoming with this idea of like perfection and control and premeditation and the idea that you know what the outcome is going to be. I think there's a message here to let go and let the mystery sort of develop and just be mysterious. And just being sort of in the present moment and not knowing if things are going to work out. And just letting things be and letting yourself learn. There's a little bit of patience required here too. With the Wheel of Fortune also, it reminds me of a clock, and it just feels like you're apprehensive, or you feel like more anxiety maybe than you need to. I see this all working out beautifully for you. I do think that this is in your destiny. So the situation you're going through right now is a pivotal one, because it's literally bringing you your destiny. It's bringing a fairy tale into your life. And I don't think you're going to recognize yourself in the end. You're going to be so much more beautiful and happy than you could ever even imagine right now. And I think you're going to be delighted and surprised by what life brings you and the person you get to know, and again, learning true intimacy, which is the ground of true happiness and true romance. And just seeing another person for who they are and not who you would want them to be or who you're idealizing them as. It could even be that these two kings are the same person in your life, but you're missing out on seeing them for who they truly are. Either way, I think you're going to be surprised by something and enchanted, and I think this situation in your life is going to turn out better than you could have ever imagined. And I think it's something that you do have to let go of. I don't think you can control it. I think it's your destiny. I think it's meant to happen to you. So I think it will teach you. I don't think there's anything you have to independently go searching for. I think the lesson here is to be authentic with others and listen and stay open and value and appreciate others. And when you work on these relationships in your life, or this one pivotal relationship in your life, it will change you. It will teach you. And so that's all you have to do, is let go and trust that process. Thank you for being here, Pile 1. I hope to see you again. I really appreciate you taking your time to be with me and hear these messages. I would love to hear your response. Let me know in the comments how this resonates. And I wish you the best. Have a good holiday and good New Year. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. So if you picked the second card, the Eight of Pentacles, this is your reading. So we're going to look at a situation in your life that you're dealing with right now. And just off the bat, since you have the Eight of Pentacles, my initial feeling is that this could have to do with work or with building something, something in your life, like an ambition you have, or a skill you're trying to develop, or a goal you have. It could have to do with work or career and could not, but it does have to do with, I think, something you're trying to grow, something you're trying to manifest, something you're trying to develop, an aspect of you even you're trying to better, something you're trying to accomplish, or something you're investing your time and energy into something that you want to see grow. So the situation I think you're in, we've got the Five of Cups, the challenge, the Ten of Wands, the lesson, we have the Queen of Wands, and the way out. Two cards came out for that actually, the Lovers and the Page of Swords. Okay, interesting. Oh, and for the Fairy Tale Oracle, we got the Wild Swans, Dedication. Okay. Yeah, I think this is definitely, it feels like, this feels very much to me like a journey. It's reflecting a journey in your life that you're on alone, that you're trying, something you're trying to cultivate and develop. And it has to do with you. I don't think this has as much to do with a situation that has to do with like relationships. I see this pile as being in a situation that's more about an independent journey that they are on by themselves. So, first of all, just describing the situation. You're struggling with some disappointment. And you're trying to get past a certain phase in your life and move on. But you're still in that place where you're still in sort of an older part of your life or a former part of your life that you'd like to let go of and you'd like to move on from. But you haven't gotten there yet. With the Ten of Wands, there's a burden here. And with the Wands, typically this speaks to a creative burden. But it could be like ideas you have, goals you set, promises you made, responsibilities, or like commitments you made. I feel very much like this is a commitment you made to yourself and something that you are pushing yourself to do. This all feels very self-initiated to me. Even if you work for someone or work with someone, or in a partnership with somebody where you're working on something together, creatively or whatever, it feels like you're really the motivated one, and you're really the one who, like, this is about your motivation. Your motivation isn't coming externally. It's not coming from anyone else. You're pushing yourself to be better and to accomplish something. But with this Ten of Wands, it kind of came out sideways when I was picking the cards. And, excuse me. And it felt almost like you're struggling with, do I keep this burden or do I let it go? And that's kind of what the Five of Cups is about too. Do I fully walk away and let this go? What's the answer here? What's the path forward? I think you have a lot of ambition for something, but all of a sudden you found yourself a little directionless. And you don't know, it's like, is it worth it? There's something here about like, will this work out, or is it worth it, or am I even close? The Ten of Wands typically is a very developed energy. This is the most developed creative energy. So you have been working on something for a very long time. You've grown something. It's full. It feels very like challenging and complicated. It's a fleshed out idea, but you're doubting it, and you don't know if that's the case or not. It's reminding me of the energy of like when you get so close to something that you can't see it anymore. With this Five of Cups, the way the card is looking to me, it's like this figure, this feminine figure in the card, like wants to make a sacrifice. She wants to be devoted to something. She wants to put this fish like in the water, or like, or hold it, or make it mean something. She wants to grow the meaning of this thing she's holding. But it's sort of like, where does she put it? Where does she invest? What promise is there that's gonna last? You know, she doesn't just want to put her treasure somewhere where it's not gonna grow roots or have meaning or float away. She wants to put her time into and energy into something that really matters. And there's something about this situation where you're questioning that, like, does this matter, or am I putting my energy into the right thing? So the lesson here is the Queen of Wands. I'm gonna read that from the Shadowscapes Tarot and see, just like, I'm curious what their definition is of the Queen of Wands. Oh, here we go. The Queen of Wands is dedicated, engaging, and attractive. She is always cheerful and upbeat. Her presence exudes confidence. She can handle anything and anyone. The feeling I get is that the lesson here that you're learning through this process is to be more confident. You are this person that you wish to be. You may not feel like it, you may not think it, you may have a lot of self-doubt and insecurity timidity, confusion, you know, you may, yeah, you may feel like you don't know, but you're being called to step into that confident, assertive side of yourself, and the part of yourself that's dedicated and that doesn't question it. I think that's part of your destiny, and you're learning who you can be and the amazing person you can be and everything like you're capable of. This situation is taking you into like a leveled up version of yourself. A version of yourself that's sort of like your highest self or your highest path. And a version of yourself that's free, that's sort of unadulterated. When I look at the Queen of Wands in this card, I really feel like this is someone who doesn't care what other people think of her. And she says to herself, like, that's their problem, what they think. I believe in myself. I believe in my intuition. And she's out in the forest playing the harp. She doesn't care if anyone hears her. She doesn't care who hears her. And she's just happy there with the wild animals. And it just feels like that lesson, like as long as you're feeling, it doesn't matter what the objective truth is, it's like, what are you feeling inside? You're trying to see the situation from the outside, but you can't, because the only way out is through. And there's no way you can really see it objectively. You can't, you're trying to like, I think you're second guessing yourself. Hoping for a sign, hoping for validation, hoping for a signal of where to go next. But I don't think the feeling I get is like, I don't think anyone can tell you the answer. I think this is a journey that's unique to you. There's like a Jungian quote that's paraphrased. It's something like, if you're on a path that you recognize, then that's not the path for you. It's not the right path. You're meant to like weave your own path. And when you do that, you don't always know what it's gonna look like. And there is an element here of like, you have to create it as you go along. I also think this path is calling you into greater creativity. And there's something, whether your career or your work or your ambition or your interests are creative or not, or you would consider them creative or not, there's something very creative at root here. And so it is asking you to approach this situation creatively and uniquely, being kind of uniquely yourself and standing out from the crowd, being different here. Being confident, being sure of yourself, and being different. And kind of not doubting yourself, like not ever doubling back and looking back and wondering what you did and why. Like just kind of looking forward and not even wasting any time reflecting, or it's almost like you're somebody who doesn't need. Some people really need to maybe do a little bit more self-reflecting or go inward a little bit more. Pile one, I got that feeling from. You're somebody who actually will get mired in that, and you have to just move. It's like you learn or you think better or you have more ideas when you actually just put the action in and move. And so you just have to move. You just have to do things and take action and take inspired action. Follow what feels good to you and uniquely you. And the whole time you're thinking about what makes me uniquely me, like what am I interested in that nobody else is, and that's kind of what you're bringing to the world around you. It's something different. It's something probably very challenging. And then with this, the way out, we got the Lovers, which is all about choice. But it's about making choice from an aligned state. So we have aspects of ourself, and we also have a higher self. And we have a mind and a heart. And it's about that feeling you have when you're making decisions from an aligned place where everything feels like it's on board. Your head isn't fighting with your heart is there. And you're making decisions and choices from an intuitive place where you feel connected with your higher self. You feel connected with sort of all aspects of you that have nothing to do with the demands or the expectations coming from the outside world. This is very much you finding alignment apart from all of that. And you developing and cultivating a better relationship with yourself. Typically the Lovers card, not in this deck, but typically in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck and the classic kind of ones, the Lovers are depicted as nude. And the idea is that they are shedding kind of their worldly selves, their symbolic selves, conditioning, and they're approaching a situation just as they are, unadorned. Finding their authentic selves through all the things that they've let go of. And so you want to think about how each decision you make, everything in your life is almost like a choice, and you're feeling empowered through, what's the most authentic part of myself, and what does she do, or what does he do in this situation? And it's playful. I mean, people talk about doing that down to the littlest detail, like what plate do I want to eat off of? What direction do I want to take to the store? What kind of, coffee do I want? What, just anything, just make everything fun and playful and adventurous and interesting, and treat everything like a choice that you're learning from. And remember that you're in a flow in your life. Everything is in flow. And when you get into that place, everything serves you and everything just sort of becomes magic. And when you think about yourself from this empowered place of you're making choices and you're directing things versus that you're a victim of an outside reality, I mean, your life really changes. And then with the Page of Swords here, this is about decisive action. This is about curiosity. I'm kind of wondering exactly what it is about this card that is important for you. The Page of Swords embodies honesty and truthfulness. She is unafraid to scrutinize her beliefs. Logic is what dominates her the most. Her mind is agile and analytical. This reminds me of the energy of getting curious about your feelings, getting curious about the actions you take, getting curious about why you're doing what you're doing. Experimenting with your life, experimenting with your choices. You know, I think the refresh button you're longing for is to get outside of yourself in a way, but it's not outside of yourself in a judgmental way or in a way where you're following a model or in a predicted path. It's getting outside of yourself in a way where you can start to be a witness of your thoughts and feelings, and in a way that's not judgmental, but in a way that's just open and inquiring and playful. The Page of Swords is like a very youthful energy. It's just an open, inquisitive, intellectual energy. There's so much here going for you. I think the message here is to have confidence, to stay open, to be curious about the situation, about yourself. Ask yourself what it is you want. And remember that you cannot get anywhere unless you're making those decisions and unless you're pursuing something in a completely aligned state. It's that feeling of like you sometimes don't even know who you really are. And you're still trying to find that. Not because you're not mature, but because that's just the path of life. We're always trying to find that. There's always something to discover. So if you feel stuck or mired or tired, or if you're discouraged or doubting about a situation you're in, you're being asked to get curious and play a little bit. And in a way, there's kind of just a levity and a confidence that's being asked or being suggested. I don't want to say like it's not taking it seriously, because I think it's a Nietzsche quote that's like the most serious thing is like a child at play. And I don't like it when people say don't take yourself seriously, because I actually think you should take yourself and your life very seriously. I don't think that's the right way of saying it. I think it's about being serious about play. And curiosity. That's the way to kind of get a perspective on your situation. I want to look at this wild swans. Oh, and then you get the card dedication. You may want to find yourself in the place where you want to rededicate yourself to something that you had started to doubt. Or you may realize that you've always been dedicated to this thing. And you just went through a period where you're growing and you're leveling up. And it felt for a while like you were questioning it, but it's just because you're coming into a new level of that dedication. But I think if you are asking, do you have what it takes? Absolutely, yes. You're made for this. You have the skill, you have the confidence and the talent, you have the dedication, you have the depth. You have the experience and the perspective. And I think you have the force of nature on your side too. I think your higher self and your spirit guides want this for you. I think birds could also be a symbol for you, particularly like swans. But there's an owl here. There are these little doves. There are swans in this one, or sort of seagull, like ocean-like birds. I think there's a swan in this one. And there's, the swan in this. Okay, I'm gonna read. If you're still here with me, thank you. I am going to read The Wild Swans. All the people came flocking out at the town gate, for they wanted to see the witch burned. An old horse drew the cart on which she sat. They had put upon her a garment of coarse sackcloth. Her lovely hair hung loose about her beautiful head. Her cheeks were as pale as death, and her lips moved silently, while her fingers were engaged with the green flax. Even on the way to death, she did not interrupt the work she had begun. Wow, they said the green flax, and look, the work that the spider is doing on green. That's an interesting synchronicity. And they say spiders are kind of feminine creatures, and she's toiling on this cobweb. The 10 shirts of mail lay at her feet, and she wrought at the 11th. And again, we had 10 wands here. I love how these readings come together. The fairy who came out to meet her was fair and shining. Yet she closely resembled the old woman who gave her the berries in the forest and told her of the swans who wore golden crowns on their heads. Your brothers can be set free, she said, but have you the courage and tenacity to do it? The sea water that changes the shape of rough stones is indeed softer than your delicate hands, but it cannot feel the pain that your fingers will feel. And look, here's the seawater. It has no heart, so it cannot suffer the anguish and heartache that you will have to endure. Do you see the stinging nettle in my hand? Many such nettles grow around the cave where you sleep. Only those and the ones that grow upon graves in the churchyards may be used. Remember that. Those you must gather, although they will burn your hands to blisters. Crush the nettles with your feet and you will have flax, which you must spin and weave into 11 shirts of mail with long sleeves. Once you throw these over the 11 wild swans, the spell over them is broken. And here we have the Page of Swords with oh my gosh, all of the swans. But keep this well in mind. From the moment you undertake this task until it is done, even though it lasts for years, you must not speak. The first word you say will strike your brother's hearts like a deadly knife. Their lives are at the mercy of your tongue. Now remember what I told you. She touched Eliza's hand with nettles that burned like fire and awakened her. This is a tale of suffering in order to save family or people we care for from a fate that is not their choosing. It is a tale of sacrifice, and of sacrifice that must be done without recognition for a long time. In this tale, a young woman's brothers are enchanted into the form of swans, and she is told that there is only one way to free them, and that is through the spinning of magical cloaks made from flax of stinging nettles. Not a word can be spoken during this task, so for years, this young woman has hands that are disfigured from the burning and pain, feet that can barely tread upon the earth, and she must do all in silence. Her dedication to this bizarre task and her silence in the face of demands for explanations creates mistrust all around her. But the truth is she cannot speak. She must keep to her task, for she has dedicated herself to saving her brothers. This is the madness of doctors, scientists, those who discover ways of healing and helping that seem bizarre and strange, incomprehensible to others. So this is the message of the card. To know that when we see people who are ferociously dedicated to a task or a mission, their single-mindedness may seem madness, and in some ways it is. But if this energy is put to a great purpose, it can bring about great healing and change. The message could be that you must allow this and not judge this. And see, okay, hold on. This is what we were talking about, is not judging yourself, but surrendering and going through with the sacrifice that you want to make in that dedication. And also not worrying about how you seem to others. If you seem mad, if you seem crazy, all the better. And you're following your own logic. This is an independent journey where you're figuring it out for yourself. You're discovering something. You're on the path to discovery. Ferociously dedicated to a task or a mission, their single-mindedness may seem madness, and in some ways it is. But if this energy is put to a great purpose, it can bring about great healing and change. The message could be that you must allow this and not judge this, and the message could also be that your own dedication may be perceived as madness, and even create hostility within the hearts of others. But it will result in healing, creativity, and great breakthroughs. Just as Eliza's work, painful and bizarre as it seemed, saved her brothers from their enchantment. The meaning, tenacity and dedication, working through pain to create results, single-minded passion, misunderstood dedication, silently working without explanation for a time, working without the approval of others. Thank you, Pile 2. I am really, really glad you joined me here. I hope you got something out of this reading. I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments how this resonated. And I hope to see you back here soon. Thank you, and Happy New Year. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. So, if you picked Pile 3, the Seven of Wands, this is your reading. Thank you for being here. I just want to say at the outset, the Seven of Wands gave me a feeling that your situation could have to do with conflict, an ongoing conflict or dispute with someone or something, a situation in your life that is not budging. And there's kind of almost a stalemate energy, or an energy of two equal energies that are like equally matched. It could be a very formidable situation. I also got a feeling that it might have to do with relationships and an interpersonal conflict. But it might not. I don't know. All right, so the situation, we got the Two of Cups. So, okay, this does seem to have to do with relationships, I would say, with the Two of Cups coming out here. And when I picked this out, it kind of came out sideways. So I think that there's a relationship right now in your life that you're struggling with. And it could be a very significant relationship to you, either a foundational relationship in your life or a significant romantic relationship you have right now. But it's not moving in the way you would like it. And in fact, it may not be moving anywhere at all. There's a stubborn, kind of stuck energy that I'm picking up with this, where people are butting heads. The challenge is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is usually the card we get with somebody who's like a difficult personality, headstrong, not super tactful, or maybe very thoughtful about what they say or the actions they take. Maybe a little selfish, or just doesn't really stop to talk to other people and see how they're feeling and how they're doing. It definitely feels like you're dealing with a difficult personality and someone who thinks that their ideas are the right way and is not really communicating with you and is not listening to you, and just wants to go their own way and wants to do things their way. And yeah, let me pick up the other cards first before I come back to that. What is the lesson? The Five of Wands is the lesson, which is about conflict and about how to handle conflict. The message, or the way out of the situation, is the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. So I'm just gonna get right to it. It took me a lot longer with the other groups. With your group, I think you're just taking a master class in how to handle conflict, and opposing viewpoints and ideas. I'm getting sometimes a feeling that this could be like a creative partnership or a career partnership or somebody you're dealing with in your career. I'm gonna pick a card and see what if this is romantic or if this is more work. It could be that it's either, like it could just depend on who you are. Two of Pentacles is about, Pentacles are about work and finances and money. I really am getting this feeling like you have creative differences with someone, or you have a different vision, or you're struggling to make your voice heard within a creative, like a career kind of partnership, or a project. There's not much stability here except for your sense of drive and desire. You're not, for some reason, you're not letting go either. Something is tying you to this, and you're willing to go through this conflict. It's hard for me to see much promising energy here, frankly. I don't really see you getting out of this unscathed. And maybe that's what you're asking, is how do I'm done and now I just want to get out of this situation. But the feeling I get is that you're dedicated to this too, to some degree. And you're still engaged in this partnership, trying to get something out of it, or thinking you will get something out of it, or trying to pursue that original vision that was there. But it does feel like it's turned into a little bit of a nightmare, or just not something you didn't think this would be as complicated as it is. There's a lesson here also that when you work with other people or develop a relationship with other people, there's always going to be some element of conflict and not seeing eye to eye. And you are learning just some smart ways about how to handle that. And you are developing from this situation, I think, a lot of maturity and a lot of resilience and just skills such as like how to communicate better and kind of like how to get what you want out of something, or what can go wrong, or you're just, the long and short of it is that you're just learning a lot from this. I think it has gone on for a long time though, and at least long enough that it feels kind of exhausting to you. And I feel like at this point, I guess I just feel like you're not gonna get anything more out of this. I'm sorry to be so blunt. It's just, that's the feeling I get. It's like, I don't think there's more to be gleaned here. And so I think the way out is about kind of overcoming this and literally getting out, like finding a way out. Whether that means that person isn't in your life anymore, or just that you've reached a point where you've overcome it and it's not causing conflict and chaos in your life anymore because you've figured out how to manage it. I feel for you. You're a strong person. You must be a very strong person. What's interesting here is that the way out is the Queen of Pentacles. And so it's asking you to step into a certain kind of energy in order to overcome the situation. So the Queen of Pentacles is someone who is worldly wise, someone who's very grounded, someone who sticks to not so much the facts, but just what are the material things about the situation, like how much money's in the budget, how much money's in the bank, how much, you're looking at the actual nitty-gritty of things, and there's no fuss, there's no feelings, you're just kind of sticking to what's in black and white. And I think sometimes in a tricky situation, that's the best way to handle it. Not to lead with your feelings, not to lead with trying to be amiable, but just being straightforward and being grounded in what's real and sticking to the truth and sticking, to the facts and what's provable and what you want. Like being straightforward about what you want and not really negotiating, not letting the person walk all over you, but just staying strong. I mean, this Queen of Pentacles is coming out of a tree. She is solid and she's not moving. She's not stubborn, but she's just not moving in what she knows is right. And so that could be why the situation feels so like there's like a mired kind of no-win quality to it, is because you're dealing with a very stubborn, headstrong, kind of immature personality. But you also know that the only way to deal with it is to like stick to what you know is right and your beliefs and what you want, and not letting this person get away with something, I think. And that takes a lot of character. That takes a lot of strength. I'm gonna pick a card for the outcome. I'm kind of curious if you embody this Queen of Pentacles energy. Nine of Swords. Okay. I think it's really troubling. It's very hard for you. There's something scary. And then we got the Ace of Pentacles. So, and the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So, I think it's very scary and you feel very alone. You feel threatened. But I think if you push through your fears and stay vigilant and stay strong, you've got the Ace of Pentacles here, which is a new opportunity or a new start, a fresh beginning, and a gift as well, something that's bestowed to you, a new investment from someone, like an opportunity. Advancement. So and with the Knight of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck, I almost feel like there's somebody here that's going to come along to help you too. And I don't know who that is, but someone with the Pentacles, someone who's aligned to your principles, aligned to your value system, sees things the way you do, takes up for you, takes up your cause, believes in you, and wants to help you because they see the value in what you're doing, they see the value in you, they know you're special, they know you're worth the fight. They're fighting for you. I don't think you're gonna be alone for too long. If you stay strong, I think there's gonna be help that comes in and there's gonna be a new opportunity. But you're being asked to embody this Queen of Pentacles energy. That is the way out of your situation. So Queen of Pentacles, I'm gonna read, I know I already described her a little bit, but I wanna read it from the book. And you might wanna Google the Queen of Pentacles too and just see what resonates with you. She yearns to nurture and care for others. She is brimming with generosity, possesses a warm spirit, and will lend her support to any who ask. Wow, so in other words, this situation, dealing with a difficult situation or a difficult person, is not making you bitter. You're staying true to your generous, kind, abundant nature, your positive view of life, your earthiness, your generosity, yeah. And when you put out that energy, you receive it, in return. But it may be hard. I feel for you. I feel like it feels like you have a lot to deal with on your own here. And also there's a very mature energy. You're the queen, the person you're dealing with is a knight. So lest you doubt, you are, I think, the more mature person in this scenario. And then the fairy tale oracle I drew was the white snake with understanding. Okay, I don't know what this fairy tale is. I got this oracle deck and a lot of the fairy tales so far, I don't know what they are. So I kind of have to look them up. The white snake, understanding. I read the whole thing in pile 2 of this oracle deck, like the explainer, and it was just a lot. So I don't think I'm gonna do that on this one. I think I'm gonna try to figure out what the point is. Oh, here we go. Okay. The meaning at the end of the day, good turns are rewarded. So your goodness, your generosity, your standing up for what's right will be rewarded. Sacrifice is rewarded. Boldness is rewarded. No excuses can be made when we are confronted by the truth, and that's what you stand for here. The humblest creatures have so much to offer. All creatures are sentient, love animals, and this is about knowing, understanding, and having wisdom. I'm going to read the last paragraph of this explainer. When this card comes to you, again, understanding. When the card of understanding comes to you, you may have recently experienced a time when you felt people seem distant, unemotional, and lacking in warmth. But if you continue to do the right and good thing, you will find there will soon be a breakthrough moment. Okay, there you go. And this is your breakthrough, this Ace of Pentacles. There will also be a time soon when all the groundwork you have done in a relationship will suddenly become worth it. Wow. Okay, so the way I felt was that this was a situation you couldn't get out of. Like, you're stuck in this somehow through like obligations, family stuff, some sort of commitment you've made that you have to honor, or something you just legally can't get out of. And so I felt like there wasn't anything left for you here in this, but the fact that you've gone through this tumult, seen it through, persevered, stayed strong, it will become worth it. And so this situation that didn't seem promising at all, I think will turn out to have had a gift for you. You are going to be able to change people's lives and help their hearts heal from the frost that can settle around a wound. You are, in many ways, the healer of the wounded heart, and soon you will see how true this is. So, this was a difficult situation for you, but you have chosen, I think, in some respect in this life, to learn from situations like this and to evolve as a soul from that understanding. And I think in this lifetime, and in the not so distant future either, you will see gifts come to you from what you've had to endure. And you will be released from this, from your own perseverance, strength, facing your fears, facing them alone. And the strength, that you've demonstrated. You have not let this move you. You have not let this change who you are and who you are meant to be. You knew that the answer was not to budge, not to be intimidated, but to fight for what's right and to fight for what is owed you, what's yours, what you deserve, what belongs to you. What's in your right to have. This is hard work that will pay off. And there's wisdom and understanding that will come to you from this situation. And I think the last thing I'll say is, if this is a romantic relationship, there's money involved, and you deserve the thing you're fighting for. You deserve that money, and you will get it. Or you deserve the resources that you believe that are owed to you. I think you have a righteous conviction in this situation. And you may feel alone, but I think other people will see it. And it might even be a slow journey out and up and away. overcoming this, but it is in the near future. You will start to see shifts, I think, in the near future. Through staying patient and staying strong. I admire you, Pile 3, and I would love to hear about what the situation is. And I would love to know how it resonates. So please let me know in the comments if this does resonate. And, or even if it doesn't, let me know. Yeah, and I wish you the very best. I wish you a happy new year. And thank you so much for your time, for being here with me today. Take care. Bye, Pile 3.